Welcome everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a very interesting stock, which is SJS Enterprises, and it is a aesthetics player in the Indian market. So what does that mean? We are going to understand that in this video. राइट तो आपने देखा होगा कि जो बाइक्स होती हैं या कार्स होती हैं उनके ऊपर स्टिकर्स लगे होते हैं या डेकोरेटिव सर्टेन एलिमेंट्स लगे होते हैं क्रोमियम प्लेटिंग के। तो वो सारे डेकोरेटिव जो एलिमेंट्स हैं वो SJS बनाती है। उसके अलावा जो गाड़ियों में और टू व्हीलर्स में जो स्पीडोमीटर होता है जिसमें स्पीड और माइलेज नज़र आता है, तो वो पहले यानी मैनुअल फिज़िकल होते थे विद नीडल, उसके बाद डिजिटल आने लगे हैं। तो उसका वो पार्ट्स भी जो SJS बनाता है, 2D भी और 3D भी, यानी जो फ्लैट होते हैं वो भी और जो जिसमें 3D होता है वो भी SJS बनाता है। उसके बाद आप वॉशिंग मशीन्स, रेफ्रिजरेटर्स, माइक्रोवेव्स, उसमें जो पैनल्स लगे होते हैं जिसके ऊपर बटन्स होते हैं, वो सारे जो उसके एस्थेटिक अपील को बढ़ाते हैं और उसे फंक्शनैलिटी भी देते हैं, दोज थिंग्स ऑल्सो SJS प्रोड्यूसेस। सो इस पूरी एस्थेटिक इंडस्ट्री में SJS इज़ वन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट एंड द फास्टेस्ट राइजिंग प्लेयर इन इंडिया। सो इस स्टॉक के बारे में आज हम डिटेल में समझेंगे। ओके, तो ये इस वीडियो का पूरा एजेंडा है। सो वी आर गोइंग थ्रू द इंट्रोडक्शन, पूरी इंडस्ट्री, ये जो एस्थेटिक्स इंडस्ट्री है ये क्या करती है, कैसे करती है, कंपनी कैसी है, कंपनी क्या करती है, जो लेटेस्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर है उसके इसमें फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस कैसी रही है, और फ्यूचर आउटलुक क्या है, और इसमें हमारा इन्वेस्टमेंट थीसिस क्या है और रिस्क क्या है, ये सारी चीज़ें हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे। So first of all, SJS is one of the leading players in the Indian decorative aesthetic industry with a wide range of products across traditional and premium segments. और traditional segment क्या है और premium segment क्या है, this also we are going to see in detail in the coming slides. And it caters to automobile, consumer appliances, medical devices, farm equipments, sanitary manufacturers, both in India and overseas. तो ये इस कंपनी का बेसिकली एक साल का चार्ट है। इट हैज़ ऑलरेडी गिवन 50% परफॉर्मेंस। इसका IPO भी हुए जज़्यादा दिन नहीं हुए हैं। इट्स अ स्मॉल कैप कंपनी विद अराउंड 2000 crores मार्केट कैप। सो यू नो एनी कंपनी विद लेस देन 5000 crores is a small cap company. Okay, and it's in the auto components industry. Okay, so let's have an industry overview. Okay. So in the Indian decorative aesthetic industry caters to leading OEMs. OEMs is original equipment manufacturers. तो जो बड़े बड़े जो प्लेयर्स हैं जिनकी आप गाड़ियाँ और मोटरसाइकिल्स और स्कूटीज़ खरीदते हैं, वो अपने पार्ट्स बेसिकली बहुत हद तक आउटसोर्स करते हैं OEMs को, ओरिजिनल इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को, जो उनके लिए पावर ट्रेन और इंजन्स और फ्रेम्स और पेडल्स और वायर्स और व्हील्स ये सब बना के देते हैं। तो ये OEMs भी SJS जैसी कंपनी से एस्थेटिक मटेरियल्स ख़रीदते हैं अपने प्रोडक्ट्स में लगाने के लिए। उसके बाद ग्लोबल इंडिपेंडेंट Tier 1 ऑटोमोटिव कंपोनेंट मेकर्स, कंज्यूमर अप्लायंसेस, ये सब जो है एस्थेटिक इंडस्ट्री इन सारी जो है इंडस्ट्रीज़ को केटर करती है। The decorative aesthetic market has witnessed a shift towards premium, aesthetically superior and technologically advanced products. Okay. According to Chrysler report, the industry is projected to grow by 20% to reach $49 billion by financial year 2025 to 2026. Now, this is a very important point, right? कि पूरी इंडस्ट्री ओवरऑल कैसे ग्रो कर रही है। अगर इंडस्ट्री ही स्लो ग्रोइंग है तो फिर उसमें उस कंपनी जो उस इंडस्ट्री में उसको ग्रो करना भी थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है। The only way they can grow is through inorganic acquisitions. लेकिन अगर पूरी इंडस्ट्री ही टेलविंड्स फेस कर रही है, पूरी इंडस्ट्री ही ग्रो कर रही है, तो उसके अंदर जो कंपनीज़ हैं दे are already in momentum towards growth in terms of their revenue and market share and earnings and all those things. So this is one of the positives, right? तो ये जो डेकोरेटिव एस्थेटिक मार्केट है अकॉर्डिंग टू क्राइसल, द लास्ट 2-3 years इट हैज़ ग्रोन एट 17% और अगले 4-5 साल तक जो है दिस विल ग्रो एट अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 20% CAGR. ओके, इसमें अगर हम एप्लीकेशन सेगमेंट से देखें, around 45% is for two wheelers and another 45% for passenger vehicles जो बड़ी गाड़ियाँ होती हैं, और 8 से 10% जो है वो consumer durables like washing machine and refrigerators and microwaves, और उसमें जो aesthetics लगते हैं उस पे है। and if you look at from components, तो ये उसका जो है breakdown है। तो जो डेकल्स और स्टिकर्स होते हैं जो बाइक के ऊपर और कार्स के ऊपर लगते हैं, दैट फॉर्म्स 25%। उसके बाद क्रोम प्लेटेड पार्ट्स जो गाड़ियों में आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहे हैं, दैट ऑल्सो इज़ 26%। उसके बाद जो IMD और IML होता है, जो इन मोल्ड डेकोरेटिव और इन मोल्ड लेबलिंग होती है, वो भी मतलब सिर्फ होम अप्लाइंसेस में नहीं और भी बहुत जगह लगती हैं, वील सी, दैट्स ऑल्सो 20%। एंड देन वी हैव लोगोज एंड ओवरलेज एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, राइट। दिस इज़ अ कंपैरेटिव चार्ट। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, इफ़ यू कैन सी माई कर्सर, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, लेट मी लेट मी डू दिस या। तो इसमें जो वर्टिकल लाइन है, ये अलग अलग कंपनीज़ हैं, यहाँ पे एसजेएस एंटरप्राइज आप देख सकते हैं, और ऊपर नीचे इसके और कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं। और जो हॉरिजॉन्टल जो हमारे कॉलम्स हैं, इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट्स हैं, लाइक लोगोज एंड डेकल्स एंड एल्यूमिनियम पैचेस, क्रोम प्लेटेड पार्ट्स, 2D डायल्स, 3D डायल्स, प्लास्टिक्स, ये सब अलग अलग सेगमेंट्स हैं। इसमें आप देखें एसजेएस एंटरप्राइज इज़ दी ओनली कंपनी विच इज़ प्रेजेंट अक्रॉस द इंटायर प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट। ऑल अदर कंपनीज़ वो किसी में प्रेजेंट हैं, किसी में नहीं है। सो एसजेएस इज़ दी ओनली कंपनी इन अमंग्स इट्स कॉम्पिटिटर्स जो हर प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट में जो है प्रेजेंट है, इनके पास कोई प्रोडक्ट गैप नहीं है। सो दिस इज़ अ प्रीटी कूल थिंग, right? Then we can look at the aesthetics market. So you can see that the slowest growing market is of decals and stickers, जो ऑलरेडी बहुत जिसका मार्केट शेयर एस्थेटिक्स के जो ग्राफ है उसमें ऑलरेडी सबसे ज़्यादा है. So it's going to grow at 13%, which is the slowest growth in this chart, in this table. But if you look at all other things like chrome plated parts and all other things, they're growing at 20-30% easily. So this is a fast growing industry, and you can pause this video and sort of look through this in more detail if you like. Right, domestic two-wheeler sales increased to 15 million units as against 13 million units. तो जो टू व्हीलर इंडस्ट्री है वो पिछले कुछ सालों से यानी 2021 तक जो है 3-4 साल से थोड़ी स्लो चल रही थी, क्योंकि जो ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री है ये एक सिक्लिकल इंडस्ट्री होती है, ठीक है. ये कभी लाइक इट गोज़ थ्रू अप फेजेस एंड डाउन फेजेस, बट इन 2022 फाइनली द इंडस्ट्री हैज़ रिवाइव्ड एंड इट्स ग्रोइंग बाई 15 एंड grew by 17% in financial year 2022. And because this is a beginning of an up cycle, so we sort of there's a prediction that this up momentum might last for some time. And also you can see कि EV penetration जो है पहले 2021 में सिर्फ 1% EV था, और अब 2026 में जो है 8% टू व्हीलर्स EV होंगे. एंड इफ़ आई एम बीइंग ऑनेस्ट, मैं इतने EV व्हीकल्स अब सड़कों पे देखने लगा हूँ. आई थिंक इट विल बी more than that. I see a lot of two-wheelers which are EV. Passenger vehicles, again, it was 0.2% in 2021. It will be 4%. I think it will actually be higher than 4%. So why are we talking about EV right now? Because, so we can see that EV grew 300%, right? So why are we talking about EV? Well, because EV has more decorative parts. It has more complex, certain parts are more complex, which caters more towards the decorative aesthetic industry, right? So two-wheeler production volume outlook is around 10-12% for the next. So the demand for wide range of consumer durable product is steadily increasing, driven by rising disposable income and evolving preference for technologically advanced products. India's consumer electronics sector is likely to witness stupendous growth in the coming years as companies seek to expand capacity and roll out new age smart products. Initiatives like Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and thrust on domestic manufacturing through PLI, which is product linked incentives schemes, will help the industry grow, right? So moving forward the appliances market, we are expecting that will grow by 12-14%, which is also a very decent growth. And in terms of specific appliances, air conditioners are going to have the highest projected growth at around 17%, 16-17%, whereas the highest product penetration is going to be of CCTV cameras. Let's have a company overview, right? So SJS is one of the leading players in Indian decorative aesthetics industry. We already saw that. And it has end-to-end design to delivery aesthetic solution with the capability to customize, design, develop and manufacture a wide range of products, right? And you can see that the two-wheelers, उनका जो customer segment है, so 45%, almost half of it they're serving to the two-wheelers. तो उसमें जो decals और stickers और speedometers और जो digital speedometers अब लग रहे हैं, उनके ऊपर का जो glass या plastic cover होता है, वो सब ये डिज़ाइन करते हैं. Then 33% is coming from passenger vehicles. Then 15% is coming from consumer durables, and 7% is coming from others. So they offer 11 products across 7 end segments and has more than 6,700 SKUs. So SKU basically stands for stock keeping units. So one stock keeping unit is basically one type of particular product. तो अगर हम कैटेगरीज लें, कैटेगरीज में फिर हर कैटेगरी में अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट होगा, तो जो एक प्रोडक्ट है with a unique design and unique size and shape, that is one SKU, right? So they across 11 product categories they have 6,700 different actual products, right? And in FY23 the company supplied 136 million total parts. Average length of relationship with 10 largest customers is 19 years, and in India the products are sold in 60 locations, right? So industry production volume growth, you can see that this is the volume growth for two-wheelers. So For 2020 and 2021, it was negative growth, as we already discussed. But after that, from 2022, there has been a steady improvement. And similarly, you can see that the revenue growth for the company itself has actually been pretty positive from 2020 itself. तो यानी जब मार्केट डाउन चल रहा था, जब इंडस्ट्री डाउन चल रही थी, तब भी SJS was actually profitable in the passenger vehicle segment in 2020, और 2021 से दोनों segments इनके profitable हो गए. So export revenue growth and revenue by geography. You can see that most of their revenue is actually coming from domestic. यानी इंडिया के अंदर ही ये लोग बेचते हैं और उसी से उनका revenue आता है. So almost 92% is actually domestic, and only 7% is international. And you can see the breakup here and how that breakup has been changing. So let's look at a little timeline of the company, right? So in 1996, the company was started to supply 2D dials in India. So 2D dials are again 2D speedometers in cars and bikes, right? In 2006, they started to export 2D dials to Portugal plants, so in Europe. In 2018, they expanded their business and won first global business to expand reach to 10 countries worldwide. 2018 to 2022, they introduced several complex new products like 3D formed appliques, optical plastics, and lens mask assembly. So this is their milestone as an automotive components player, right? So the parts that they were making for vehicles specifically. Now let's look at their milestone as consumer appliance player, right? So of course they started in 1994 with dome batches, right? And then in 2002 embossed overlays का business इन्होंने शुरू किया. Now if you don't know what this is, let me just do a quick search and just show you on Google itself what these things are, so you can have a look over here. This is what they started with. Right? The other thing that they're talking about is embossed overlays. So let's see what that is. So this is embossed overlays, right? तो आपने बहुत सारी मशीनरी के ऊपर देखा होगा कि इस तरीके के ऊपर बटन्स बने होते हैं, राइट? इस तरीके के बटन्स बने होते हैं वॉशिंग मशीन में, माइक्रोवेव्स में. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट एम्बॉस्ड ओवरलेज आर, राइट? आई एम श्योर अब आप लोगों को एक आइडिया होगा. अलग अलग तरीके की जो होम अप्लाइंसेस होते हैं उसमें ऐसे बटन्स होते हैं, रिमोट्स के ऊपर ये बटन्स होते हैं, राइट? तो दिस इज़ बेसिकली व्हाट दे मेड. आई होप आई हैव सॉर्ट ऑफ मेड दिस क्लियर. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट दे लॉन्च इन 2002, right? Then in 2017 they developed aluminum batch capability. So again let's just have a look at that. These are aluminum batches, right? So अब आप लोग समझ रहे होंगे कि किस टाइप के प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं. Okay, now I'm sure a lot of you might not even have thought of कि ये जो इतनी छोटी मोटी मामूली सी चीज़ें हैं इसके पीछे भी कोई बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड कंपनी हो सकती है. But there actually is right, multiple companies that serve to these segments. These are aluminum batches, right? These are aluminum batches. You get the idea. Added electroformed batches to portfolio, one business in Russia in 2018. Then 18 to 2022, they developed chrome-plated badges, right? And successfully introduced IMD and IML panels to replace imports from China. Started aluminum batch supplies to various global markets. So this has been their journey so far. So SJS Enterprise से हम clients देखते हैं तो auto OEMs में इनके clients है TVS, Mahindra and Mahindra, Honda, Bajaj, Royal Enfield, John Deere, Volkswagen, Suzuki, Tata Motors, Skoda, Foxconn, मतलब all the major players that you can think of are their clients. In tier 1 auto components, they have Marelli, they have Visteon, Continental, Mindarica, Pricol, all these tier 1 auto component makers. In consumer durable players, their clients include Whirlpool, Samsung, Godrej, Panasonic, IFB Industries. Then they have other sort of players as well, like Sensacor, Geberit, Roca, Lightmed, etc. Right? Average length of relationship with their clients is around 19 years, right? And you can see again these are the clientele that they have, जिनको ये decorative serve करते हैं. So all the major players in the space are their clientele. They have 2 manufacturing plants. I'm sorry, I think my face is covering a little bit of that, but they have 2 manufacturing plants. One in Bangalore and one in Pune. And then they have warehouses in Gurugram, Pune, Mysore, Chennai, etc. And their end market are all these countries, right? India, North America, Italy, Russia, Japan, Thailand, UAE, Vietnam, China, Sri Lanka, Argentina, etc. This is their product portfolio: decals and body graphics, right? 2D appliques, 2D dials, domes, 3D lux badges, overlays. This is in mold. These 2 things. These are in mold labels and in mold dies, right? Aluminum badges. लेंस मास्क असेंबली, ऑप्टिकल प्लास्टिक्स. तो ये जो मीटर्स के ऊपर जो प्लास्टिक होती है इसको कहते हैं लेंस मास्क असेंबली. सो दिस हैज़ टू बी मेड आउट ऑफ अ स्पेसिफिक मटेरियल ताकि अंदर की जो डिस्प्ले है वो साफ नज़र आए. देन क्रोम प्लेटेड प्रोडक्ट्स, all these things they basically manufacture, right? This is sort of their management team. You can read through this. They have a pretty experienced management team. Okay, let's look at their financial highlights. So total revenue grew by 17% to 433 crores. Consolidated EBITDA stood at 116 crores, growth of 23% year on year, and the margin is 26%. Profit after tax rose by 28% to 62 crores with margin growth of 15%. Return on capital employed and return on equity stood at the rate of 13% and 15%. Free cash flow to EBITDA for financial year 2022 to 2023 stands at the rate of 52%. So that means 52% of EBITDA was converted to free cash flow. This is a very positive sign. Revenue from two-wheeler segment grew 23% वर्सेज इंडस्ट्री प्रोडक्शन वॉल्यूम. तो इंडस्ट्री का जो वॉल्यूम है वो सिर्फ 9% ग्रो हुई, लेकिन इनका जो रेवेन्यू है टू व्हीलर से वो 9% के बजाय 23% ग्रो हुआ. पैसेंजर व्हीकल वॉल्यूम ग्रू बाई 25%. राइट, इन द ऑटोमोटिव स्पेस they grew 25%, whereas the combined growth was 11%. And then it won its first ever export order for Exotec's chrome plated parts from Whirlpool. So Exotec is basically a subsidiary which they have acquired. Financial summary, this is a chart of their PE ratio, right? So right now it's trading at around little above 30 PE. The average median PE has been 24, but I think even right now 30 PE is not very high for a company like this. So you can see these are their financials, and they have been quite consistently performing in terms of sales and profitability, right? Their ROE, ROCE and ROA, all the ratios, efficiency ratios, return on equity, capital employed and assets have been pretty constant. And so the market does pay a premium, right, to companies that have stability in their performance and stability in their ratios. So this seems to be one of those companies. This is a financial summary. If you want this presentation, you can just message me or you can join our WhatsApp group. I'll share this there, or you can just pause this video and go through this. But you can see that in 2019 they had a negative free cash flow, but after that their cash flow has steadily been increasing only, right? Their quick ratios are also very healthy, their assets are healthy, the P&L statement looks fine, right? In terms of peer comparison, so this is SJS Enterprise right over here. You can compare it with other players in the industry. Not all of them are directly comparable. So like FEM Industries, Subros, these don't exactly make decoratives, but they're also in the automotive space. So we have just added this chart if you want to do further research. Future outlook, management expects SJS consolidated revenue to grow 50%, 23 to 24. This is actually one of my concern. If अगर आप guidance इतनी aggressive दे रहे हैं, तो अगर आप उस guidance पे perform नहीं कर पाते हैं, then the market punishes you by hitting your stock really hard. So this is the issue, right? अगर उनको 50% expect कर भी रहे थे, तो I think they should not have mentioned 50%. They should have only mentioned maybe 30% or something like that. That's also good enough, right? For medium term, management's target is 20 to 25% revenue growth for the next 3 years. So that's a much more moderate approach. PAT growth to be 40%. Company intends to develop new generation products which find increasing application in two-wheelers, passenger vehicles, electric vehicles, and consumer appliances. What is our investment thesis, right? So company operates in high value added and definitive aesthetic markets across multiple industries. तो इनका जो market है, that इनका जो product market fit है वो validate हो चुका है, and they have very well identified who their customers are across different verticals, right? Decorative aesthetic industry, the industry as a whole is growing 20%, and lifestyle changes and higher spending will lead to growth in the underlying application segment like automobile and consumer durable industry. And then government initiatives are expected to increase incentives in the underlying sectors, which then will give a boost to the aesthetic industry as well. Then they also have vast and diversified portfolio. ऐसा नहीं है कि इनका पूरा concentration एक ही industry vertical पर है. So entire range of traditional and premium aesthetic products as well as aftermarket accessories. तो उनका जो customer base है वो it's all spread across very well. They serve diverse industries, right? We have already covered this, including two-wheelers, medical devices, sanitary ware, commercial vehicles, all those things. This diversification strategy has helped the company to minimize the impact of industry slowdown in specific segments and exploring opportunities in other consumer appliances segments such as smart TVs and fans. This is what they are currently doing. Then there is a premiumization. Then there is a premiumization trend. So shift to tech superior products like 3D appliques, digital dials, screens in automobiles, touch-based navigation in cars. So एक shift हो रहा है where even you will notice that the new Activa that's coming out, the new cars that are coming out, उनके अंदर ज़्यादा डेकोरेटिव्स लगे होते हैं, उनके अंदर ज़्यादा क्रोमियम प्लेटिंग होती है, उनके अंदर डायल्स अब ज़्यादा फैंसी आ रहे हैं. So you can yourself observe these trends in the market, right? These products are seen as a product differentiator for automobile OEMs and consumer appliances companies. Plans to introduce illuminated logos and in-mold electronic parts, smart electronics, all these things will boost, the market for companies like SJS and also, similar companies in the market. Acquisition of WPI, which is one of the acquisitions that they did, will reinforce in-mold labeling capabilities and add IMD technology, and 2K molding capability. Then they have strong customer relationships associated with 10 largest revenue contributors for average of 19 years, supplies directly or indirectly to all the top 7 two-wheeler original equipment manufacturers, 9 out of the top 10 passenger vehicle manufacturers, 5 out of the top 10 consumer appliances OEMs, right? So they are directly supplying to the best and the top players in the two-wheeler industry, in the passenger vehicle industry, in the consumer appliances industry. And they recently won new orders from TVS Motors, Bajaj Auto, Honda, Royal Enfield, Mahindra and Mahindra, Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, Whirlpool and Samsung. So apart from organic growth, which they are already experiencing, they are also pursuing inorganic growth. So this is one of the core strategies at SJS. So they acquired Exotech Plastics, which resulted in high operating leverage. In 2 years, उन्होंने revenue double कर दिया. In April 2023, which is very recently, they acquired Walter Park, which is proficient in in-mold design and basically in-mold labeling and in-mold technologies in general. And then they're going to utilize funds to acquire more companies and integrate companies that will enable them to sell across. Then they will utilize funds and their own reserves to acquire and integrate more companies that will enable them to cross-sell products. Then they have increasing focus on EV segments, right? So focus on developing advanced products to cater to electronic vehicles. EVs typically have better tech and product features, right? Like large number of screens, lens mask assemblies. All these things require more products from companies like SJS, right? Supplies to 12 leading EV manufacturers in the country, like Bendling India, Navbharat, Edison Motors, and Grafton. Backed orders from Foxconn, Ultraviolet, Hero Electronic, and Bajaj Auto. So these were all the good things. So this was a lot about the industry and the company and their growth strategy and their financial situation. Let's look at this some key risk, right? So they have a customer risk, obviously. So उनके जो top customers हैं, they contribute a pretty big chunk of their revenue. So if they lose any 1 or 2 or 3 of their top customers, so that's going to take a big hit on their revenue. Then they have competition risk. We already saw, there are different players. We already saw that there are many other players in the industry, right? It's not that SJS is the only company. बहुत सारी companies listed हैं, बहुत सारी companies unlisted space में भी हैं SJS से compete करने के लिए. So, or there's low barrier to entry, right? Anyone can start an aesthetic business. Obviously, to develop those client relationships with Maruti and Mahindra and Honda and TVS, that's going to require time. But anyone can start manufacturing and supplying. So low barrier to entry, there's a competition risk definitely. So because SJS is also exporting to so many different countries, they are also exposed to forex or foreign exchange risk. So these are the main risks that are there in this company, right? So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was an informative session for you all. So we also have a free WhatsApp group where I keep sharing company updates and market updates. None of that is investment advice. It's only to keep you updated with the markets. So you can join that WhatsApp group with the link in the comments below, right? And you can get in touch with us at this number. So we also provide portfolio management and investment advisory service in case you're interested, and we would be happy to help you there. Thanks.